Hello and welcome everyone again into another video. Today's video will talk about the top teams in the Master League meta. I haven't made a Master League video since a while and I was like, hey, the Master League viewers are literally by far the nicest viewers I have on this channel. With all due respect to everyone, every time I post a Master League video, it gets like 4 times the likes of any other video. Like if we take the ratio like viewers to the number of likes, Master League viewers actually like the channel the most. So it's just me like paying back. I appreciate like you guys supporting the channel, and just as a way to pay back, I'm making a video about Master League, and I promise I will be playing Master League as well this week. So usually during leagues rotation, I do go live on my YouTube channel and on my Twitch channel. So once the leagues are live, you can just click on my channel, whether it's a Twitch or YouTube, and you will see me live. And I will be playing Master League more than a Holiday Cup. Why? Just a way like showing appreciation to the Master League viewers. So Master League, basically legendaries and OP stuff. If you take a look at the Master League meta, it's not that different of last season, but big but. Why? There is Zygarde now. This season Zygarde has got like a small change, which is now Bulldoze is a cheap move and it's no longer a nuke. But PvP still suggests Earthquake because Bulldoze doesn't do that much damage. But the thing is, if you have Zygarde locked in against like stuff that takes a neutral from ground, it's actually better to have Bulldoze, because you're going to debuff them, and you have Stab Dragon Tail, which will add up with the insane amount of bulk, which will make Zygarde the best Pokemon. That's why it's number 1. It was Palkia for like the past 2-3 seasons, but it's no longer Palkia, it's Zygarde. Palkia is taking a setback at number 2. I do believe that if you are playing like, if your playstyle is like an offensive playstyle where like you like to do more pass move pressure, Palkia is the better one. If you like to have some bulky Pokemon, Zygarde is still better. I don't know why I have headset. I'm literally like hearing the music from the speaker. So Zygarde, Palkia, Yveltal. I do think that if you are someone, okay, so here's the thing, if you're someone who like playing offensively, Palkia is the best. If you like someone who plays defensively, Zygarde is the best. But if you like to do neutral, if you like to have a neutral play, or like you don't want to get hard countered, but you just want to have a neutral play, Yveltal is the best in neutral Pokemon. Like even in bad matchups such as against the Charmers, you can still do something. I mean, not the Charmers, I mean the fairies like Xerneas. Like you will find out that Sucker Punch actually does more than Geomancy, even though Geomancy is super effective and Sucker Punch is resisted. That's because how bad Geomancy is. Geomancy is basically a bad Snarl. I don't know why Niantic tend to give, like, I don't know why Niantic tries to make the signature moves like on for legendary Pokemons worse than the non-legendary moves. Like Yveltal has Oblivion Wing, and it's literally a bad move. It's not just a, it's an average move. Dark Pulse it's a bad move. But like you have some Pokemons like Metagross has Meteor Mash, which is one of the best charge moves. You have Rhyperior with an insane charge move like Rock Cricket. Why do Niantic do that? They try to make it balanced, but I don't think it's supposed to be balanced. This is Master League. This is like a whale feast that we're like, this is like, you just come in here to flex your muscles, right? Why would you play Master League? Because you want to play Double Charm, or you want to play strong stuff? That's Master League, basically. So, as always, I divide stuff into leads, safe swaps, generals. But let me take a look at the PvP ranking. Zygarde, Palkia, Yveltal, number 1, 2, 3, 4, Duskmane. Those top 4 Pokemons like are actually the best. We'll talk about if there is better. Rhyperior is like kind of the safest Pokemon. After, you can say like Yveltal, Rhyperior is like the safest 2 Pokemons. But now there is so many Kyogres in the meta, so Rhyperior is like always feel threatened to use. Kyurem is not a bad Pokemon to use. Giratina, I think Giratina is just bad. Machado is just a very flexible Pokemon. Like you can just run Sucker Punch and double elemental punches, and you'll just be like a spammy, annoying Pokemon that people wish to have, but they don't have. Groudon is just bad, and that's for one simple thing, which like you just get destroyed by the Flyers, and somehow the matchup into Rhyperior is actually not a good matchup, because Rhyperior can literally just 2-shield through you and just spam breaking swipes or something, and eventually they will be able to swap out. Anything I would like to add up? Landorus is still strong. The problem with Landorus is that Landorus now in neutral matchups is a bit worse, because in the past you used to spam Sandseed Storm in 5. Now it takes 6. But something to mention, Landorus now is with the after the Mudshot change, Landorus is better into steel, but worse into everything else. Safe swaps. The main safe swap here I would like to talk about is Zacian. Zacian is still the best safe swap in the entire game. You could say the same thing about Xerneas. Xerneas is the safe swap for one lead, which is basically Yveltal. If you see Yveltal, there is a Xerneas in the back. Sometimes with Ho-Oh, but Ho-Oh tends to have Zacian. It could be both either. There is no differences. Like technically, Zacian is a better safe swap. Xerneas is a better closer and a better lead. Zeru, the problem with Zeru is that you need to have more than 13 defense, because there's like a Dragon Breath breakpoint against Polke. So if you have that, you're actually cooking. And like, not just that, you just wall the heck out of something like Zygarde. You just resist all the charge moves that they do run. For the generalist wise, Palkia is still the best Pokemon, the best closer. Dialga is too good. The problem with Dialga is that the meta is full of fairies and Ho-Ohs and the ground Pokemon, so Dialga has no play. But I actually do use Dialga. Why do I use Dialga? I just don't have a Palkia. Leave me alone. Lugia. They need to give Lugia something like Fly, because the problem with Lugia is that they keep nerfing Sky Attack because of Great League Pokemon, to the point where like Sky Attack just became a very bad charge move, and Lugia does need something. You know, you're not just gonna spam Aero Blast, right? And Mewtwo does need a buff, so they either should change Psycho Cut to give it like the Poison Sting treatment, where like I think it just does 1 more damage or something. Or they just give it Psywave, as I suggested multiple times so far. So anything else I think worth mentioning? Shadow Ursaluna is actually a decent Pokemon. Yeah. Meloetta is the best anti-meta Pokemon in the entire game. If you are lucky to have a good IV on your Meloetta, this is the best season to run Meloetta. This is the best season ever. Why? Because if you have a neutral lead, you literally win all neutral leads. And into something like Yveltal, it's not even bad, because you have a Thunderbolt, which is a super effective move, and you have a baiting move, so if they shield your bait, you're just cooking. And into something like Palkia, I think you win the zeros, so which is actually kind of good. Anything here else worth mentioning? I think those two are the best. Everything else is usable, but not the greatest. So let me sum up everything I talked about. I would say those are the top picks. Your team should have 2 of these Pokemons. If your team doesn't have 2 of these Pokemons, your team might be scuffed. Now, I can't wait for someone's like, oh, Yashir, I just went with Tabu Blulu and Meloetta and Tabu Blalie, and the team is cooking. Yeah, dude, I always get these comments. I'm like, I'm sure these are the best Pokemons, but that doesn't mean you should be running. Even though I said you should be running those, but that doesn't mean you should be running those. Okay, it's like when your dad give you an advice, you have to listen to him, but it doesn't mean you have to take his advice seriously, right? So think of it that way. Okay, no, take my advice is more serious than your dad's advices. Okay. I didn't want to go that far, but okay, you may need to double think about it, to double check about that. So I do think that having 2 Pokemons, if not 3, from those Pokemons is actually the sauce in the Master League. Necrozma, like if you play Master League, there is so many Ho-Ohs and Rhyperiors, to the point where like you'll be like, oh, there is no way I run Lion, and then you would be surprised how many teams are ABA weak to the Lion. To the point like you can just take the risk. Okay, I'm just gonna run the Lion, even though some teams will hard counter you, but you will destroy the heck out of other teams as well. Someone actually convinced me of running Ironhead Outrage, because you can beat Palkia down a shield, so that's something you need to be aware of. Ho-Oh is one of my favorite Pokemons. Now we talked about the top Pokemons. How about the top teams in the Master League? My favorite, I think one of the best, one of the most neutral teams in the Master League is Yveltal, Zacian, Xerneas, with Landorus or Zygarde. And I was like, someone's like, oh, this team is Omega weak to Cetitan. Who does have Cetitan? I don't call anyone in the world has Cetitan. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, I just lost 7 games because your teams are weak to Cetitan. Bro, nobody has it. Okay, I have 7 XL candy. Who in the world has 300 XL candy and a hundo to make a Titan for Master League? To be fair, Titan is actually very tanky, but it doesn't do that much damage. So if you have energy lead, you have the chance to destroy the Titan Pokemon thing. So the problem with this team is, yes, it's weak to ice, but ice Pokemons are not the greatest. They are technically slow Pokemons, or they don't do damage to Titan. And you have Hisuian Avalog as the second one. They both are annoying to deal with, but they are also don't hit hard. Like Palkia do live 2 icy winds plus the powdered snow in between. One of the GOATs, one of the greatest teams in actually the Master League has been Dialga, Palkia, and Landorus. The problem with this team is that it's triple weak to Tapu Blulo, Blalie, this thing, this Tapu. I don't know which Blulo, Bolly this thing is, but yes, this team is triple weak to Tapu Blulo, and there is actually no way you can beat this Pokemon. How to beat? There is no way. You can't beat it. It destroys your entire team. So, a way to fix this, you just get rid of Dialga and put Ho-Oh in the lead. Or like, just lead Ho-Oh with those two, and then you lose to Rhyperior. Dude, okay. Just replace Dialga with the Lion, yes. And Landorus can actually win the 0-1, the 1-0. So, you can just shield the lead. And because you have to save this, because whenever you see Tapu Blolo, Blalie, Tapu Bale, whenever you see this Tapu, there is always a Rhyperior behind it, because they kind of need a Rhyperior, otherwise they just get cooked by the turkey. Another team I think is actually great, and I think it's one of the best, is Yveltal with Lion and the dog, Zacian. The team is kind of weak to Ho-Oh, but to be honest, Yveltal into Ho-Oh, you just double shield, and as long as you're throwing good timing, you get to beat them, and you still have enough health to throw another charge move. So it's one of the good leads, as long as you have 2 shields. And if you have Zygarde in the back, all you need is just usually invest shields in your lead and have a better alignment for this guy, because you cannot afford to have Landorus like Lion into something like Ho-Oh. So you have to fight in the lead and have a better alignment. If you are a Zygarde fan, I do think that this team is very good for the Zygarde people. The problem with this team is that it just doesn't have a safe swap. So what does this team lose to? It's pretty much just the fairies in the lead. Other than that, Zygarde should beat everything as long as you call beats. But yeah, other than that, this team relies on having a neutral lead, and Zygarde just pretty much beat everything. The only thing you lose to is just basically fairies, right? Speaking of the fairies, there is a team on the YouTube channel called Unstoppable, but the team Rhyperior Primarina Togekiss shakes up the new meta, and it does. This team is actually... I'm not happy to feature this team, but I think if you don't have Rhyperior, just run Zygarde. Like, oh yeah, so who does have Rhyperior and doesn't have Zygarde? Or who does have Zygarde and doesn't have Rhyperior? I don't know. I'm trying to help you here and give you some teams. If you don't like Charmants, you can just run Ho-Oh double fairies, but not double Charmants, okay? It's actually a great team. I think this is the Smash King team, where like he just doesn't have a Lion, so he loves the Bat more, because the Bat is one of the most satisfying Nukats in the entire Master League meta. So it's a worth it team. The Signal team, Rhyperior with the Enamorus and Palkia. So with this team, it goes like this. You win the lead unless it's a Kyogre. But what do you do against Kyogre? You just safe swap this. And usually Kyogre teams just don't have Enamorus counted, so they have to stay in against the Enamorus. Enamorus is just a bit annoying, because I think you have to run the grass move for the Rhyperior, because you can outpace, and this team is kind of weak to Tapu Bolo in the lead. But if they have Tapu Bolo in the lead, like this Tapu, like the one with the big hat, you just safe swap Enamorus, and all the Tapu Bolo teams are just weak to Enamorus. They don't have an answer to that. A team that was suggested to me by the Pokemon Go, it's Primarina with Rhyperior and Giratina. What does Giratina do? Giratina just stole the switch enough for you, and sometimes can get shields down. The team is just basically 3 neutral Pokemons. You don't rely on hard countering, you just rely on outplaying. You do run Waterfall Primarina, and because it just does the same and even get you more wins. A team was suggested to me by K-God. He runs Zacian, Rhyperior, and Yveltal. Pretty much 3 neutral Pokemons. He loves his Zacian because Zacian is just a very cool Pokemon, and it does hit hard, to be honest, and it's just very, very spammy as well. Teams from previous seasons, I think this team a bit worth some mention here. I used this team a lot like last 2 seasons, and I still think it's good just because Kyogre can RPS so many teams. And yes, that's pretty much it for today. Thank you so much everyone for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like this content, make sure to leave a like. If you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And I will catch you on the next video. Make sure to follow the channel, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. There is a link in the description below. Show my Twitch channel as well. Feel free to click that, give me a follow. So if you are on Twitch and you want to watch some streamer, sometimes I'm live there. So you can just stop by and hang out. Thanks so much for watching, and have a good day. Bye.